president say that we're not going to enforce this law?
I think as a general matter, of course, the president has enforcement discretion.
And would that then adequately would that be binding? In other words, protect the regulated community such that they could rely on
Kavanaugh, I
that
think.
under due process principles.
Excellent follow-up question.
That raises a tricky question. So I think there would be
Then it's
a
not
strong.
going to be adequate.
I think there is a strong due process argument that the third-party service providers could invoke.
That's a tricky
if there were
question.
Enforcement action based on a
But it's
period
not
of
gonna
time
be
when
adequate. That was
the law wouldn't
excellent.
be enforced. The kind of
They're not going
canonical
to take
case.
that risk unless they have the assurance
Kavanaugh.
that a presidential statement of non-enforcement is, in fact, something that can be fully relied on because the risk is too severe otherwise, right?
I think that they might judge that based on this court's precedent in the due process space and principles of entrapment by estoppel, maybe they have a sufficient safeguard here to allow them to continue to operate. I would think even before a non-enforcement policy were announced, of course, the president-elect would want to review all of the updated national security information that has come in over the last 4 years that undergird Congress's judgment here. But the final thing I would say is that even if you think the third-party providers are simply going to choose not to continue to provide these services because it's too much of a risk to take on.
This is the
Again,
United
that's not
States
anything
right now.
permanent
This is the
or
government. Thank
irrevocable,
you
and
for
that
the
might
gift.
be
This is the
just
government
what
from the
the
United
PRC and
States.
ByteDance need to start taking seriously some of the public reporting about interest in acquiring the company.
At one point,
There
Mr.
can be interest in
Francisco
acquiring ByteDance,
suggested
but
that
ByteDance
what
doesn't
we
want to
might
sell.
want to do,
It can be
and
all
that
the
we
interest in the world.
regard
ByteDance
as
doesn't want to sell.
certainly
If I
We have another
understood correctly, under President-elect's first term, he passed an executive order requiring divestiture, correct?
That's right.
So do mine.
And this, that was challenged in court and stayed as a result of him exceeding his executive power to do that. But this bill followed a bipartisan investigation, correct?
Yes, that's right.
I am a little concerned that a suggestion that a president-elect or anyone else should not enforce the law when a law is in effect and has
Y'all, I don't think we have
prohibited
Sotomayor.
certain action that a company
Which
would,
surprises me a little bit, but I think it's
choose
because
to
she's
ignore
old and doesn't
enforcement on any
understand like
assurance other than the change
how
in
apps
that law.
work.
Putting that aside, on the 19th, if it doesn't shut down, there is a violation of law, correct?
Yes.
And whatever the new president does doesn't change that reality for these companies.
That's right.
How long is the statute of limitations in effect? Assuming that they violated it that day and later continue to violate it. But how long does the statute of limitations exist for a civil violation of this sort?
It would be a 5-year statute of limitations.